Good morning, y'all. So today I'm going to be doing a little meal prep for the week, and I decided to take you guys along with me just so you can kind of get an idea of like some of the things that I eat during the week, or kind of like what's a common like grocery or meal stock to have in my household. So the first thing I'm going to do is start by putting some bacon on a bacon sheet. And I've seen this in somebody else's meal prep videos. I've seen it in a couple of meal prep videos actually. And so now it's like my favorite thing to do is bake bacon. It's like so mess free. Like it's way easier to clean up than frying it on the stove. Plus you can do a whole bunch of slices at one time. So yeah. And then I'm also gonna like order my meal prep so that I kind of start with some of the things that take the longest to cook first, and then kind of work my way down in that order. So I'm going to start by putting some bacon in a baking sheet, and then I'm going to put that in the oven. And then I want to boil some eggs. And I like to have boiled eggs for snacks. Sometimes I eat it as a meal or whatever. And, you know, my boyfriend does the same thing. And my daughter likes to eat bacon and stuff. So I'm just going to have this stuff meal prepped out. So I have a pot of water boiling on the stove. And then I'm going to put my bacon in the oven. And as far as my eggs, I like to boil the pot of water first and then put my eggs in there. And I typically let them boil for like 30 minutes. I've seen people do it different ways. Like put the eggs in there and let the water come to a boil that way. But I don't know. That's just kind of like the way I learned, and that's the way that I've always done it. And I'm probably going to keep doing it until I decide that something else is better. So I have the water boiling on the stove. Well, getting hot on the stove. And once it comes to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and put my eggs in there. And then I'm going to make some muffins to have for the week. These are just little cheap strawberry cheesecake muffins. It's a cheap little brand. I'm making this mostly for the household, so like the kids can grab, my daughter can grab one, my boyfriend can grab one if he wants one. I could even grab one if I want one. Just kind of like something quick to grab when we're trying to like run out of the house, or just want like something sweet and quick to eat. So the point of the meal prep is just to have things on hand to eat so we make better choices and spend less money going out. At least that's how it is for me. So yeah, I just mixed up the muffin mix. All it took was, I think it was just add milk, and that was it. So I'm going to mix that up and put that in the little muffin sheet that I have. And typically for myself, I like to use the Kodiak blueberry muffin mix and make those muffins. And they're like higher protein muffins. They're a little bit healthier for you and good if you're on like a keto diet or a high protein diet. So that's what I like more specifically for myself, like on a healthy kick. But these, like I said, are just going to be muffins just here for the household, just to grab. So I'm not interested in buying those super fancy or super healthy type of muffins like for my 6-year old, because she might half eat the muffin or whatever anyways. So yeah, I got the muffins mixed up, I got them in the baking sheet, and I put those in the oven. I went ahead and put my eggs in the water as well, the boiling water. And then I just set a timer for like 30 minutes, and then I'll put my eggs out. Now I'm also going to chop up this Cajun sausage. Actually, no, I think this is turkey kielbasa sausage. And I've seen this recipe that I've never seen before in my life. It's called Cabbage Alfredo. And it's actually cabbage and sausage Alfredo is what I'm going to be making. And I am a pasta lover. Like, I love pasta. So I feel like this would be a really great way for me to kind of eliminate that bread and pasta that's in my diet and swap it out for cabbage. So I was like really excited to try this recipe. And it actually turned out pretty good. I think I made it just a little bit too salty. But I did enjoy this recipe. And I made a little bit too much because nobody in the house wants cabbage except for me, apparently. So I have to make like a smaller batch of it next time. But I did really enjoy this meal. So I'm going to be prepping that up as well in this video. So I got the sausage chopped up, and I went ahead and put that in the skillet. And I started out with it on medium heat, but then I realized like I'm cooking a lot of other stuff in the kitchen as well. So I wanted to cook while I'm doing other stuff, but I don't want it to have it too hot to where it's burning while I'm doing something else. So I turned the sausage down like on low, and it was perfect. Like I don't know how long I had it on the stove, maybe like 30 minutes, but it was just slow, cooking low and slow. And that was fine with me. So I chopped up the sausage, and I also added some onion in there. And that's just because I had an onion up to use, and I love onions, but onions were not a part of the original recipe for this cabbage Alfredo, but that's just something that I wanted to add because I like onions, and I had one that I wanted to use. So that's what I did. And then I'm also going to chop up this cabbage, and I had the hardest time, like, preparing this cabbage and chopping it up. I don't know. It could be the MG. They had me kind of weak, or maybe this was just a tough cabbage. I don't know. So I struggled for a while, then I kind of cut the camera off and tried to like make a little progress and come back to y'all. But this was also a really big cabbage because I had enough for this cabbage Alfredo, and then I still had cabbage left over that I ended. I still had cabbage left over that I ended up using for. I made a cabbage and Italian sausage soup, like creamy soup, and it was so good. And I didn't record me like prepping it because it's just something that I didn't know I was gonna have cabbage left over, so that's not something that I plan to prep for, but it is something that I ended up using the leftover cabbage for, and it turned out really good. So yeah, I got my cabbage chopped up. And I'm also going to use this Trader Joe's fruit and vegetable wash in a bowl to like suck my cabbage, and I'm gonna just kind of swish it around in that bowl and let it soak for a minute to like kind of clean the cabbage off. And then I'm gonna like rinse it really well and drain it. But yeah, I struggled like chopping this cabbage up. I don't know what was going on, but yeah. So I chopped it up kind of like as small as I wanted it. Not too small, but not too big either. Because I was trying to keep in mind that cabbage does kind of wilt down as well. So yeah. So I put in that bowl of water with the Trader Joe's fruit and vegetable wash. I'm checking out my bacon, and that's how it looks. I feel like it looks pretty good. It's a little light on the other side, so I'm going to flip them over and put them back into the oven. I like my bacon kind of like crispier and on the more well done side. And then I'm also one of those persons that will eat like burnt meat. So so I'm going to cook the bacon a little bit longer. It's probably ready for somebody else that likes normally cooked bacon, but I'm going to cook it a little bit longer. So yeah. And then also I'm going to do my drink of the day. Like in every video I have like a drinking scent of the day. So for today, my drink of the day is going to be coffee because I started this meal prep like early in the morning. So just make myself a cup of coffee. Today I'm using the Starbucks Sumatra dark roast, and it's really good. And I used the Starbucks creamer as well. So now I'm just going to like prep some other ingredients. I'm going to do half a stick of butter. And slice it up. This is going to go on top of my cabbage Alfredo. So I'm going to slice up this half a stick of butter into like smaller squares or cubes. And then I also have some fat-free cream cheese. And I'm going to do the same thing, is just kind of chop it up into smaller pieces. And you'll see what I do with it as the video goes on. But I'm basically going to layer it into the baking sheet. I'm going to use the same baking sheet that I'm prepping the bacon in because it already kind of has that bacon grease at the bottom. So I feel like it'll give a good coating for my cabbage to not stick to the pan and stuff. So that was my theory there, and that's what I'm going to do. But typically when I am meal prepping bacon, I will line the sheet with foil so that way it's even easier cleanup. But since I knew that I was going to do this cabbage Alfredo, I didn't line the sheet this time because I wanted that extra like bacon grease at the bottom. So yeah, I put some cabbage in the my bacon dish, and then I'm just like layering the butter and cream cheese on top. I don't know if layering is the word, but just kind of placing it on top. And then I'm also going to, I think I'm going to season the cabbage. I don't know if I'm going to do it now or later. And for seasoning, I'm trying to remember what I use. I think I use Cajun seasoning, which I'll show here in just a minute. So yeah, I'll be using salt, pepper, and the Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning. And I'm also pouring some milk on top. The actual recipe calls for, I think, half and half or heavy cream. But all I had was milk, so that's what I used. And honestly, it still turned out pretty good. So yeah, salt, pepper, Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning. Those are the only three things that I used. And of course, I'm just sprinkling the seasonings across the little casserole dish. So yeah, like I said, this recipe turned out really good. I think I added a little bit too much salt. I'm guessing maybe the Cajun seasoning had salt in it already. So me adding salt on top of it was just a little bit much for my liking. I'm not super heavy on seasonings and salt and stuff, so you know, it may have been the perfect amount for somebody else, but for me, it was just a little bit too salty. But for the most part, it still was a really, really good dish. So once I got that layered, I'm just set that to the side. Now I'm moving on to some chicken breast, and I just have 3 boneless, skinless, thinly sliced chicken breasts, and I'm seasoning those with kicking chicken seasoning. That's all I put on there. Nothing else, just the kicking chicken seasoning. And I have those on kind of like a low setting, and I'm just going to let those cook while I take care of some other things. So my boiled eggs were done, so I'm going to go ahead and peel those. Actually, they had been done a while ago, and so I just put ice on top of them, and I let them sit in like ice water, and that just helps to make it easier to peel. So they had already been sitting in the ice while I was layering my casserole dish. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and peel those now and set those to the side. And then of course I'm just checking on my chicken breasts over there. Like I said, I have them on kind of like a medium to low temperature so that they're able to cook, but not too fast where it's burning while I'm trying to get other stuff done. But hot enough to where it's still cooking while I'm getting other stuff done. If it made any sense at all. I feel like that may have been a little complicated, but yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these boiled eggs peeled, keeping an eye on my chicken, and I flip it like every 10 to 15 minutes. I was flipping those chicken breasts. And then I'm just gonna place my boiled eggs in these little snack containers. I got these from Amazon. I use them all the time. I love them. Like, I use them for everything, like snacks, actual meals, lunches, adult lunchables, everything. I really like them. So yeah, got those from Amazon. And then we're gonna move on to making another snack for the week. I'm gonna be making some peanut butter and apples. And I just bought some sliced apples, like a pack of peeled apples that had already been sliced. And then I'm just gonna use some creamy peanut butter. And I have these little plastic what do you call them? Like sauce cups, I guess. I can't think of a word. But these little plastic cups with lids. And I just scooped some peanut butter in there with those, and put a few sliced apples in there, and did a few of those Ziploc bags like that. So I have a snack for apples and peanut butter. Then my bacon's done. I took that out and set it on like paper towels to dry off some of the extra oil. And I'm just gonna like take my bacon and crumble it up. I mean, you could like use a knife and like actually cut it, like, you know. But I'm just gonna use my hands and just kind of break them into like kind of chunky pieces. And I also had like my turkey kielbasa sausage. I'm using the same bowl that that's in with the sausage and onion. And I crumbled those bacon pieces up in that same bowl with the sausage. So I'm going to add bacon to my cabbage Alfredo as well. So my chicken breasts had been done. Like once the chicken breasts were done, I set them on this cutting board to cool off. And sorry about that. The phone went off. That's me. But I thought I silenced my phone. Sorry. And it's still doing it. I don't know why it's doing it. and I have it on salad. Sorry. But so when the chicken breasts were done cooking, I just set them on the cutting board to let them cool off before cutting into them. And it just makes them easier to cut, and it also helps them stay juicier. And then I just cut them up and set them to the side. So I have some grilled chicken breast to the side. I also am making this ground turkey here, and I think it's like taco seasoned. And then I have some cucumbers that I just kind of like washed off, and then I'm going to be cutting those into, I don't want to say bite-sized pieces, but I guess technically bite-sized is the word. But just cutting those into smaller pieces that's a little bit easier to eat on like salads or something like that. And then after cutting the cucumbers, I'm going to cut some tomatoes as well. And I use the Trader Joe's fruit and vegetable wash for pretty much all of my produce. So yeah, that's what I use to clean those off. And for my tomatoes, I'm going to cut some where they're like sliced tomatoes, and then I'm going to cut the rest of them like diced tomatoes. And the sliced tomatoes will be like for any sandwiches that I want to make, and then the diced tomatoes, of course, would be like for a salad or a wrap or anything else really that I want to make that I want to add tomatoes to. And I just have them already chopped and ready to go. And then I also have these sweet mini peppers, and for some reason I was craving these. I mean, I'm not like a huge pepper fan or anything, but I have this Baby Bell Monterey snack cheese, and I was just like, I bet this would go really good with like some bell pepper. So I bought these sweet mini peppers, and I'm just cutting like the stems of them off and then kind of de-seeding them as well. And this just kind of like to prep them for the week. So now I'm showing like my Alfredo. I had put the Alfredo in there in the oven, which is the milk, seasonings, cream cheese, and butter. And now everything had kind of like baked down. So now I'm adding the meat, which was the sausage, onions, and the bacon. So I just added that on top of the cabbage Alfredo. I added a little bit more of Slap Mama. Again, this is probably why it turned out to be a little bit salty to me, but it was still good, like I said. And I'm just going to mix all of that in with the meat. And once I get it all like incorporated in, I'm just going to, I think I put some shredded cheese on top. I may have put like some shredded mozzarella cheese on top and then popped it back into the oven. No, I added Parmesan cheese, some shredded Parmesan cheese, and popped it back into the oven to let it kind of melt and mix all together. And then I have this Great Value multigrain bread, and I believe it has like flax seeds and nuts or something in the middle of it, which was pretty interesting. But it's like a really thick slice of bread. It's pretty big, and I don't know, it makes you feel healthy when you eat it, so I like it. But I'm gonna prep myself a sandwich, and I'm also gonna make a sandwich for my boyfriend as well. And what else? And I'm just using turkey and ham. This is Great Value brand Black Forest ham. And I want to say, I think it's oven roasted turkey slices. So this is the bread that I was talking about. And then I'm going to use regular white bread for him. And then I'm using that multigrain or whatever it's called bread for myself. And then I'm just adding some Kraft like single cheese on his sandwiches. And then for my sandwich, I'm going to add this hot jalapeno and habanero jack sliced cheese. Is Great Value brand. I really like this cheese. Whenever I'm making like a sandwich or something or a wrap, like I love using this sliced cheese. If I'm using sliced cheese, this is the one that I really like. I love spicy food, so yeah. That's the cheese that I'm going to be using on my sandwich. And it's Great Value multigrain bread. That's what it's called. And yeah, it has like little flax seeds and nuts or something, and it's pretty cool. I never tried this before, and Walmart also has like a keto bread as well, which was pretty good that I've tried before. But nonetheless, I'm gonna add some like salad mix, green salad mix on my sandwich, none for his, and then I'm just layering on the ham and turkey, and I'm gonna add some sliced tomatoes for my sandwich, none for his, of course. And that's pretty much it besides condiments. I'm not gonna add any to his because he's taking his to work, and all he wanted on his sandwich was meat and cheese, whereas mine has meat, cheese, lettuce, and tomato. And then I'm gonna add like mustard and light mayo whenever I do eat it, but for it to just be prepared ahead of time, there's no condiments. And this is kind of an overview of the stuff that I have. I have those Baby Bell Monterey Jack cheeses, boiled eggs, peanuts in my little snack containers. I have just a mix and match of things in that container there, as you see. But those are my muffins all in a container. I made a little salad. I have these Parmesan crisp bites. Those are my cucumbers chopped, my tomatoes, my sweet mini peppers. I have my boiled eggs in a little bowl there. My ground turkey meat with taco seasoning was over there, and my grilled chicken was over there. I have some Slim Jims. So that just kind of was a variety of the stuff that I had prepped and that I'm going to be using for the week. And then this is kind of like a final look of that cabbage and sausage Alfredo that I made. And it was really good, y'all. Look at it. And what I even did, like on day 3, when I kind of got tired of eating the same thing over and over again, I made some brown rice and I ate like a cup of brown rice with it, and it was super good. Oh, and in my meal prep collection here, I have these orange swirl slim fast shakes. I only have 2 of those. I only bought a small like 4-pack because I wanted to try those. Apples and peanut butter, Slim Jims, which is just like great value brand beef jerkies over there. Um, and just like quick little food. So this is everything prepped out, like I said. I only like to prep for about 3 days just because we get bored of eating the same stuff over and over again. And then when you have like fresh produce, it tends to go bad pretty quickly. So I only like to prep for about 3 days in my household. So this is all I have. It's not a whole lot, but it's a good amount for us. Hopefully this kind of gave you some ideas of stuff that you might want to prep for the week, or at least it was just fun to watch. Yeah, so that's all I have for y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.